I don't want Star Wars Battlefront 3. At least not from EA. You got to hear me out. So, as you may have heard, it's all over TikTok, it's all over the internet. Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2017, EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2017 is back. It's up and running. There's thousands of players back and playing it, seemingly out of nowhere, and people are clamoring for a Battlefront 3. I think people are taking an interest in Battlefront 2 because of recent Star Wars media. Andor Season 2 just wrapped up, and it was very good. It was a very good show, but it was also very good Star Wars, which is very refreshing if you're a Star Wars fan. Gosh, that's nice to have some good content once in a while. And on top of that, Fortnite, everyone knows Fortnite, they're running a Star Wars event in Fortnite right now, and I think a lot of people are taking an interest in it. They're seeing characters and skins and going, wow, what's this? And I think other people want to sort of extend beyond Fortnite and see what else there is. And Battlefront 2 is one of those things that's available on all consoles, and it's cheap, and it's pretty fun, even for an 8-year-old game. Can't believe it's been 8 years. And because people are playing this 8-year-old game and they're having a lot of fun, they're saying, hey, it's been 8 years. EA, make us another one. Makes sense. And EA has basically responded saying, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're focusing on other stuff right now. While some other people who used to work at EA, some other devs, have come out and said, you know what, we'd love to get the band, get the team back together, get the boys and girls back together, and we'd love to make a PS5 update version. That'd be fantastic. Put some more content in, update it. While you guys play that, we'd be working on an official sequel. It's a pipe dream for now, and they've talked about some ideas. However, I want to say that I don't want EA to make the third one. I don't want EA to make the next one. Well, then who do you want to make the next one, Chetty? Truthfully, I don't know. I really don't know. When Battlefront 2 released, and I feel like a lot of people don't know about this, or at least the new players don't, because they're probably younger and, well, they were probably still eating glue in kindergarten when the last one came out. But Battlefront 2 2017 had one of the worst launches in video game history, in my opinion. It is up there in the top 10. It is, well, I was going to say it's about as bad as Cyberpunk or Fallout 76, but it's much worse than that. It is way, way worse than that. Battlefront 2's launch was horrible for multiple reasons, but the two that I can think of at the top of my head, and the number one blaring issue, is the egregious microtransactions and loot crates. So in Star Wars Battlefront 2, you select a character, a trooper, you select them, and then you get to upgrade that character with something called star cards. The star cards give you perks and abilities to help you and assist you on the battlefield. One of the star cards is a grenade launcher for your character. You press R1 and you pull out a grenade launcher and you shoot grenades. The star card for the grenade launcher will reduce the amount of cooldown that you can use that grenade launcher for. So normally that grenade launcher can be used every 45 seconds in game. Something like that. You use the grenade launcher, you shoot 3 grenades, 45 seconds later it's on a cooldown, you can use it again. No ammunition in this game. It's all cooldowns, which I really hate. But if you use the star card, you get a 10% reduction the time it takes for that to cool down. And you're saying, well, Chetty, why is that so bad? Well, that's because that's a common star card. When the game originally came out, EA wanted you to spend money and buy loot crates for the chance to open up the chance to get a green version of that star card or an uncommon version of that card, where now instead of 10%, it's a 12% reduction, and so on and so on. You open a blue or a rare, and now it's 16% reduction. You open a purple, and it's a 22% reduction of the cooldown. Now, 22% reduction isn't life or death. It's not going to make or break the game, but it is a substantial difference in the amount of time that you can use that grenade launcher compared to somebody who did not spend money on the game to re-roll those loot crates. It was egregious. It was awful. People complained so much that they were forced to take it out of the game. They were forced to take out all those microtransactions, all gameplay altering monetary things out of the game. Took it right out of the game. I even think Holland complained about it so bad that they were gonna remove the game right off store shelves or something like that, because they said it was like gambling and a younger audience is playing it, something like that. Anyway, something like that. I'd have to look into that, but point being, it was so bad, people complained, they were forced to make a move. On top of all that, there was someone at EA, I can't remember who it was, that said, oh, you guys are just bitching and moaning, you guys just complaining, you guys just don't want to blah, 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 just telling us to basically shut up and play it. Buy it and shut up, which is not what you say when a majority of your audience is complaining about your product. The other reason that I think the game really sucked at launch is that they promised an in-depth campaign in the Star Wars universe, which we were very excited for, because we love Star Wars, but we want to see a new story. And you were going to play as the Empire this time. You're going to be the bad guys. You're going to play as Iden Versio, a special ops Imperial soldier, part of Inferno Squad, a Navy SEAL of the Empire, if you will. Very cool. Jack of all the trades. She flies, she shoots. Whoa, pretty cool. Whoa. And you play the game, and then within the first 2 hours, she changes sides. She switches sides, and you spend the next 4 hours of the campaign playing as the rebels. That's not what I ordered. That's not what I want. On top of that, the campaign is like it's the NPCs are stupid. The AI is stupid. It's basically just an average at best shooter gallery campaign. Go here, move here, do this. Just with Star Wars laser guns and pretty set pieces. That's pretty much all it is. So that really sucks. And also, fuck Operation Cinder. That's only going to make sense to some of the Star Wars fans out there, but I think Operation Cinder is completely stupid, and they're just doing it to make the Empire look evil because Disney. So they had a bad campaign. The multiplayer was trash, and for that reason, I stopped playing. I stopped playing early 2018. They fucked up with the first Battlefront in 2015, which arguably wasn't that bad as a fuck up as this one. And then they absolutely ruined Battlefront 2. So I quit it cold turkey. I said, no more, thank you. Plus, it had some content from the sequel trilogy, which I am not a fan of at all. I do not like the sequel trilogy. I do not like it on a boat. I do not like it with a goat. Sam, I am. So you can understand why me and a lot of people are surprised that this game's getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of people playing it. I think it peaked at like 17,000 people on Steam as this video going live. 17,000 people, which is a lot. And it's probably similar across all platforms. Consoles probably floating maybe about half that on each. So there's a good 30 to 40,000 people playing this game right now, which is very impressive for an old game. And naturally, people are clamoring for a sequel. They want a sequel. They want a new one. I get it, but I don't think EA is the right company to make the next game. They had 2 shots. A third one, I don't think it's going to be very good. There is some former developers who worked on Battlefront 2 said they would love to get the team back together and work on a sequel, or at least work on a PS5 or next-gen console version of the game, add some content, some updates, some much-needed updates, an 8-year-old game. And while that's happening, use the team to work on a sequel. But EA is not really invested in that right now because, well, they're trying to fix another mistake, which is the new Battlefield game. As I'm sure as Battlefield fans would know, I'm sure there's some crossover here, that the last Battlefield was not very good either. Battlefield 2042 was a complete dumpster fire. So they're probably working on that. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some things that I like about the game, dislike about the game, and some things that I would want to see in the threequel, the third installment of the game. Because I think there's a lot of things that need to change. Out of the gate, the star card's got to go. The star card arcade system has to go. Mainly because I think they need to choose a direction. I think having the Battlefield sort of class system and the identity there is great, but then they have this really arcade-style shooter stuff going on that I don't think mixes well with the Battlefield flavor. That formula, I don't like that. I don't like that formula. It doesn't taste right to me. If you're going to do arcade, I say commit to arcade. Make it Call of Duty with perks and guns and kill streaks, like blasters, but commit more to that style. Where Battlefield, you have these large open maps and vehicles, 64 versus 64 players, and just these crazy set pieces and beautiful graphics. And Star Wars really is the perfect world to have a Battlefield type game, like to have that flavoring in their game. That makes a lot of sense. You just got to pick an identity. Next biggest issue for me is balance issues and the hero system. I think the hero system sucks in this game. I think it's awful. I think the 2015 system had problems, but it was better, in my opinion. People used to camp around these tokens on the map in 2015 Battlefront to play as a hero or a walker on the Hoth map, for example. And that is a problem. That's been a problem since Halo. People used to camp the Ghosts and the Scorpion tanks. Like people used to camp those vehicles. How you fix that? Again, I don't know. But in Battlefront 2, you earn points by killing people, playing objectives, even just shooting people, doing stuff. You earn points. When you die or spawn in, when you die and go back to the menu, you have a chance to spend those points on a character or a vehicle that you really want to play as. But the problem is people aren't camping tokens on the map anymore. They're camping menus. People are simply waiting for the hero timer or the max limit of heroes on the map to drop one when someone dies, and they're just mashing X on Luke Skywalker so they can live out their Return of the Jedi fantasy. I don't think that works very well, especially in the Galactic Assault mode, which feels like that's supposed to be the in-lore mode. where you're supposed to have like lore accurate characters in the maps, but it's not. In that mode, you can play as any bad side character as long as you're on the bad side. Like having Darth Maul on in Rey's movies and planets is kind of jarring a little bit to me for fans. I understand it's multiplayer; it doesn't have to be lore accurate, but like a little more accuracy for the Galactic, like that Galactic Assault mode feels like it's supposed to be living out the movies. Where the Supremacy mode, which is the better mode in my opinion, just that classic capture the command post mode, it has a much reduced hero pool, and you can only play as the heroes that were available chronologically to that movie, which yeah, it makes sense. I'd argue that having the vehicles locked up in that system too is even worse. Or like if I want to play as an ATST and I want to level up the ATST, I want to be a tank driver. I love driving tanks in Battlefield. That's one of my favorite things to do is be a tank driver. Anytime a Battlefield comes out, I like driving the tank. I think the tanks are very effective and can turn the tide of the game. And I love being in the tanks. But here, it's the same thing. People are camping the tanks, and I think that's very frustrating when if you're doing poorly in the game, if you're not doing very well. Yes, it's very easy to earn points. I understand that, but if you're doing poorly in the game, you will not get access to all the toys and gadgets that the good players do. Because now all the toys and gadgets are tied to in-game points, not just the best heroes and villains, which I understand it, but and even like lesser characters like the flamethrower trooper. Why do I have to spend points to be a flamethrower trooper when I could just have that be part of one of the classes? Like there could be a fifth class, the bounty hunter class or something like that, and that could be a bounty hunter. And only the bounty hunter has access to the cool weapons and gadgets, like the flamethrowers and the fucking incinerator guns and the cloaking device or something like that. Like it feels very silly that I can't play as a super battle droid when I want. I have to earn the points to play as a super battle droid when that's that army's advantage of a super battle droid. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think that whole point system has to go. The whole point, it just has to go. Yeah, they got to fix the classes. I briefly mentioned that there, but they got to fix the classes. Having 4 classes is fine, but I think with Star Wars you could do 5 or 6. You could do medic, keep the officer. That's cool with the buffing other soldiers. The support maybe a little more like maybe a little more support like it is in Battlefield. Like give us actual like light machine gun sort of blasters where I can aim in. Maybe set up a bipod or something like that. Maybe set up the E-Web blaster. Maybe that's the supports thing. Where instead of a bipod on an LMG type blaster, like that's pretty much what he is. Maybe his special thing is that he has the ability to set up an E-Web blaster and really pin down people on points. So he's there to really support people on objectives, which that's really cool. But a bounty hunter class would be a lot of fun. Maybe even a Jedi class. Like, I don't know. There's different ways to go at that. As long as you're reworking the classes, I think maybe some more customization with the blasters too, with the weapons. Obviously, you know, it doesn't have to be red dot sights, holographics, banana camo, gold camo, and stuff like that, even though I think that'd be pretty cool in my opinion. But maybe like more attached, more like if I had the E11, maybe E11 with an extended mag, no scope, makes it more accurate. Maybe I can aiming down sight. I also think if we're doing Battlefield, destructible environments, I think that's severely missing from this game, where like you have all these huge cannons and lasers and grenades and rockets and like stuff is blowing up and it's so cinematic and beautiful. The game is beautiful. You have to say that. The game is gorgeous. Maybe destroying some of the huts that people are hiding in and some of the shacks. Like, wouldn't it be cool to tear down one of those shacks in Kashyyyk? You say, no more, Chewbacca. You're not hiding in there. And you tear down a shack. Like, that'd be cool. That's awesome. Also, maybe some more game modes, some returning game modes. The Galactic Conquest mode that everyone's been screaming for years from the original games on PS2. And maybe have it be like Helldivers. Maybe you like join a Clone Wars war effort where like you join as a CIS and you're trying to take over the galaxy, and then it's like it shows like a percentage of like how many people, but like you're actually fighting multiplayer battles against each other, and then you earn in-game rewards based on the campaigns you fought in. Like EA, hello, call me. I also think it'd be cool to implement the main gameplay gimmick from the original Battlefront 3 that got canceled, the seamless ground to space battles. The Battlefront 3 that got canceled in 2007 was boasting that you could start on the ground, fly into the air, or fly into space, and it's all the same continuous battle. Or start in space, destroy their ship, then land and come down and help the people on the ground. Very cool idea. Now with PS5 and Xbox Series X technology, we could absolutely do that. They were thinking about doing it on a PS3. If you can do it on a PS3, you could do it on a PS5. So that's something I think would be very cool. Also, the hero roster has to be retuned as well. Where's Mace Windu? You got Clone Wars stuff, but you don't have Mace Windu? Where the heck is Mace Windu? Now, this is nitpicking for me, but we can move away from the Rey stuff. We can move away from the Rey movies. I know that'll get me shot, but I personally do not like 7, 8, 9. I think the further we move away from those as a society, the better. So less that content, and to replace it, maybe some EU content, some expanded universe stuff, the stuff that Disney said was no longer canon before they bought it, before they changed everything. Where's Kyle playing as Kyle Katarn? That could be a cool hero to play as. What abilities does he have? Mara Jade, Ahsoka. Where's Ahsoka? She's not EU, but where's Ahsoka? Like, come on, there's so many cool things you could add. But I think adding more factions would be fun. What if there was a bounty hunter faction? Bounty hunter versus rebels, fighting in Jabba's palace. How does the bounty hunter faction deal with the rebels? Like, is it what different equipment do they have? Like that, there's so many cool ideas. Something I think they should do too is Old Republic content. Give us some Old Republic stuff. What about Darth Revan, Darth Malak, the Sith Empire versus the High Republic? What do those soldiers look like? What do their blasters look like? That's cool. That's never been done. What are their space battles like? That's super cool. Maybe some Dash Rendar too. A little bit of Dash Rendar. Everyone likes a little Dash Rendar, right? Oh, like Black Sun versus the Hutt Cartel. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. More planets, more maps. Maybe variation in planets, kind of like the first game had back in 2004, where like you go to Tatooine, but there's the Dune Sea, and then there's Mos Eisley. Maybe 2 places for everything. Like, that's a really cool idea. Kashyyyk Docks, Kashyyyk Highlands, Naboo Theed, Naboo the Gungan City. Like, there's so many cool ideas here. There's so many cool ideas that I think they could add. Oh, also maybe a complete mashup of factions. Like in the original Battlefront 2 campaign, you played the Rise of the Empire, and there's a point in the game where you're the Empire trying to destroy a droid factory, which I love that mission. It's so cool. What if we did like a mashup where it's what if it is droids versus Empire? What about the Republic versus what about a detachment of clones versus the rebels or something crazy? Something crazy like that. Like there's so many good ideas, bro. And on top of all this customization, the extra characters, the EU, all the stuff I'm yapping about, the number one thing I think EA or whoever makes this game should do is use cosmetic microtransactions. Use cosmetic DLC. Purely cosmetic DLC. Let's say you come out with a bounty hunter update. You say this update's all about bounty hunters. We're doing bounty hunter maps. We're doing Boba Fett. We're adding Boba Fett to the game. We're adding Bosk. We're adding Dengar. Everyone, come on. Respect for Dengar. Everyone loves Dengar. They had all these bounty hunter stuff. Bounty hunter weapons. Bounty hunter gadgets. Stuff you can add, maybe a bounty hunter class, but then you add like special edition Boba Fett, like the white armor Boba Fett, like that one, or like, and you just keep adding those skins, kind of like Call of Duty does, like Fortnite does. Keep a shop open, charge full price for the game, but keep those cosmetic options open. Do you know how many nerds would buy Star Wars cosmetics? They buy them in Fortnite. You know how much money they would make if they did in-game cosmetics for a photorealistic Star Wars game like that, and they kept adding? The point is, I'm looking long-term here, and that's how you keep the game long-term. Add all these things that I'm talking about. There's some other good ideas that other YouTubers are talking about, but that's how you keep the game long-term. Cosmetics. People will spend the money. And honestly, for Star Wars cosmetics, fuck, I might too. Good idea, EA. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Okay, I've been yapping for too long. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.